Welcome all to Crypto and Chill. I am Mike, aka Veteran Crypto, and with me as always on Tuesdays and Friday evenings at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern is my boy Jeff. What up, brother?
What up, what up? Happy Friday. Beautiful day out. Traffic was a breeze, so that's always nice.
Well, that's right. You're actually having to commute in and do the nose to the grindstone, the old the old going to the office.
The other ball and chain.
Oh man, there's always something that's shackled to you, right?
Yep. Although I am looking forward to stacking up some dry powder since the markets are still down, and as you can see in the title, I am stacking stablecoins right now, so I'm ready to get more dry powder.
like I said, I don't feel like I with where I think we are in the dip, or in the bear. I don't feel like I'm confident enough to sell all my crypto because I'll be honest, I missed the boat. If I would have been or we would have been working with David a little earlier, like we are now, I think that he easily would have convinced me to be like, hey, sell most of your alts, and hold on to Bitcoin and ETH. And, the market's going to go lower. Cause just on the shows that we do in the morning and he's doing the charts, he's showing those bear flags that, keep, dropping down. And he seems pretty confident that we're going down into the, high 40s, like the 48, 49K range on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And if that happens, or we go lower, let's save this. Hold on. Let me introduce the freaking socials. Then we'll get
it.
Forgive me. I got a little buzz going.
Then we'll get in it, governor. We'll get in it. We'll get in it, governor.
Go get in it. In it. All right. So, if you want to join the conversation, if you want to be in the chat, like we got Ellie in there right now with Jeff chatting it up, go ahead and find us. I was able to latch on to the handle of @the_node_network, all one word. So no more underscore. Nice. Yeah, nice. No more underscore. It's just @the_node_network. For some reason, it won't let me change the name of the channel from the Node channel to the Node network. It keeps telling me I can't do it. And I'm like, okay.
You don't tell me what I can't do.
Well, right. I just want to name it the Node network instead of the Node channel because it's not a channel. It's a network. We got a bunch of different channels on here. We got the Node. We got freaking Crypto and Chill, this show. We got, your show, the Blockchain Report. And we got Sovereign Soil with me and Drew with, emergency prep and all that. You got the Market Wrap and the private coaching with David. And on some of the days, Tuesdays and Thursdays, is David and Ellie because he's walking her through the private coaching, his private coaching program. And then we got your DJ stuff. And then we got the Red Pill where we get, extremely based and drunk and, argue and debate over shit. And then we got Gaming and Chill. So we got like a bunch of different channels. So I figured it's like, it doesn't make any sense to call it the Node channel. It's the Node network.
Yeah.
So
no, I like it. And that's what I've been saying in my pre-records. Like, I know it says the Node channel, but we're more like the Node network.
Exactly. So we just been evolving, dude. It's only been, can you believe it? It's only been 4 weeks. And we have all of these freaking shows. David's, built out a whole website. he's built out this, the node, the node.pro that has everything. I mean, it has the links to all the news that we talk about in the morning show. It has DeFi University, the no charge, full course that you can take to learn DeFi and about traditional banking and how all of that works with fractional reserves and whatnot. You got his private coaching. You got our AI newsletter. You got our store. I'm like redesigning a bunch of the merch right now, so you got our store. It's just, yeah, I mean, the list goes on. It's just, but all of it in the past 4 weeks. And, and we started a business. We're an actual business now and not just me and you, trying to grow a channel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And the TA too, David's daily market wrap up. We had talked about trying to find a TA guy back early when we started the channel, the DCA. And
David is far more than just a TA guy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he is a TA guy. He likes the tits and ass, but we wanted somebody that could read charts, that liked tits and ass and like charts as well and knew how to read them. But I mean, he has a very deep amount of experience with traditional finance, the whole process of debanking to where he doesn't even use traditional banks anymore. He makes his whole living, and a very good one, doing nothing but investing in DeFi. It's like that's how he makes his whole living. So he can live wherever he wants. Like he was in California, now he's down in Florida. Me and him are seriously talking about at some point, if we can, make this into something, where we're making a good profit, going down to South America, Central America, or Japan, or something like that, and having a place and having a studio and where we're all in the same place, and do the show legit, and then actually fly out and go to the different conventions and do interviews and all that kind of stuff. So we're in this for the long haul. I mean, we've yet to make any a decent amount of money so far, but we're in it for the love of the game, and we're going to build a network of integrity. It's like we're not going to get paid to talk about projects. That's kind of why we're coming up with some of this paid stuff. Like the AI newsletter for $20 a month, or David's private coaching. I'm going to start doing emergency prep and homesteading, coaching, to help people put together go bags and all that kind of stuff, assess their situation, where they live, if they live in the city or the country, if they're single or married, if they have kids, what are the kids' ages, if they have, elderly parents that live with them, if they're planning on bugging in, bugging out, basically, customize, a prep, or help them build out a homestead. But, I mean, that's why we're coming up with that stuff. Is we really want to grow this and make it legit, but for us to be able to do that, we either gotta take bribes basically from projects that want us to make them look good, like a lot of channels do, and nothing against them. Everybody's got to do their own thing, but we want to be old school. We want to be like we're incentivized by you all, you all supporting us. That incentivizes us to not take payment to talk about projects and stuff like that. That's why we show you the bad and the good about every project. Even Aerodrome. I always point this out. It's my largest holding by far, and because I'm a DJ, and but we talk about the negative aspects to it as well. David has detailed how the flywheel, that is supposed, that they advertise as being this amazing thing. It is, but that flywheel can work in reverse and work against you as well. And David's detailed that before. So, here we talk about the good and the bad about every project. We don't pull punches on anything. We make sure we ask the hard questions when we do interviews, and we don't ambush people. The people that come on that we interview, we let them know ahead of time. Hey, we found X, Y, and Z, in OpNet. We let them know before they came on. there were some people that were, talking about that, they were part of scams in the past and stuff like that. So we, let Chad know, like, hey, you know, are you cool with us asking questions about this? Because, it's important that people, and he's like, absolutely. He's like, no, and he took like 15, 20 minutes of the interview and went through all of it, detailed, all the details and, how it all laid out and played out and, what they did and didn't do. And fully transparent. I was very impressed, so, but, and that's not to say that, run out and buy OpNet, but, do your own
Well, no, because they
research.
don't have a token.
Oh,
Haha.
they don't?
Yeah, because they don't have a need for the token. They have they're just the network that is building.
I thought that you were farming that airdrop or something like that.
So they have the
pill.
orange pill. Yeah,
Yeah,
the pill and
that's right.
the Moto swap. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's what also made me kind of like, okay, they're not incentivized by launching their own token to scam people out of, an airdrop or whatever.
And maybe that's why they did that. Is just, they were part of, some of those past projects that ended up being a little bit scammy, but it's not like they were the founders. It's not, from, the way he explained it and a little bit, that we looked into it, not a little bit, quite a bit. It didn't seem like there was anything, like rug pullish or anything. It was more just that they were working on the project, helping with the project, and it wasn't being managed properly. And my understanding is that they left, those projects before, before they actually, ended up folding up, shop and whatnot. But well, let's.
Well, and I wanted to ask you about the whole DAG interview yesterday, because I didn't catch the part where you were asking him about token holders getting.
I'll be honest. I very much respect Dagnum, and he's a very smart dude. But I was I felt it was important because I've been stressing this all over social media and almost on every episode, that if there isn't something, if the project doesn't have a clear way of making, generating revenue, making profits, and if there isn't a mechanism in place through the tokenization, and tokenomics, sorry, through the tokenomics, or a mechanism in place to allow that revenue and those profits of the project to flow back to token holders, then why are we buying the token? If it's because basically then it's basically a meme coin that makes you a fan of that project. So yeah, I mean, I asked him, I was like, hey, why should we buy the token, the DAG token, if there's nothing in place? Is there something in place or something planned that if this starts to generate revenue? Well, first I asked, is this generating revenue? And he didn't have a very he didn't have the answer I wanted to hear. I'll put it that way. He didn't have the answer that I wanted to hear about that. And then when I asked him that if it does start generating, a bunch of revenue, there's a bunch of adoption, is there a way that those profits, kind of like on Aerodrome, all of the 100% of the fees that are generated, the revenue that's generated on the platform goes back to, Aerolocks, which is churning into Aero stakes, S Aero instead of VE Aero. So that incentivizes you to hold the token. It's so, that's why one of the reasons I'm so bullish on it is I actually earn from holding it. And that's why we're all here, is to make money. And then, he was talking about how to use the network, for peer-to-peer transactions and stuff. You don't even need the token. Really, the only time you need the token is when you want to be a validator or, something like that, like advanced features of the network. And so again, I was like, So people don't even need to buy the token to use the network. So it's like, what's the token for unless you want to be a validator or something like that, or use advanced features? If peer-to-peer transactions are free,
Mm-hmm.
you
And
know,
who
it's
would be the most likely candidate to use the advanced features? Just the government, entities that are using it right now?
well, that's the thing is to use the network, they don't need the token. So so
Or
yeah,
does the government entities that are using it, are they validators at all? Do you know if
I'm not gonna pretend like I know.
okay.
I mean, I could easily look it up, but the point
Yeah.
is just even if they were, even again, even if they become the blockchain that or the chain, because it's not a blockchain, it's a DAG, the one that everybody uses. Um, as a token holder, it means nothing. It's like XRP.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the tokenomics that, no matter how successful Ripple gets, there is no direct correlation between the success of the company and the token price, other than what people are willing to pay for it. That's it. And if more people sell it than that buy it, price go down. If more people, buy it than sell it, price go up. And that's about it. Because, I mean, the gas on, the XRPL, I won't get into that. I've talked about that enough. But I sold all of my DAG.
Yeah. What
I
about
mean,
Paca? Alpaca?
I sold that. I sold everything. So I told the community before I did it. In our Discord, I went in there and I
Yeah.
told them, I'm like, hey, nothing against Dagnum, and I'm sure the project's going to do great. It's just I didn't see how that I was incentivized at all to be a token holder, and
Yep.
not to say that the token price can't go up. I mean, we've seen it before. I mean, every crypto project out there, even meme coins, in past bull markets, they all go up. So it's possible. It's just
Yep.
I'm in this for the long term. I'm looking for the next Google, the next Amazon. I'm looking for, I see Canton Network, Ethereum, Bitcoin, potentially not guaranteed Aerodrome, being a major part of Morpho, being a major part of the future financial system, possibly Aave and
Mhm.
Uniswap, if they get their ducks in a row. They've been having some issues with their DAO, and I see a lot of issues with their falling behind when it comes to being able to onboard normies to crypto and DeFi. Aerodrome and Morpho has Coinbase. It's a very easy, very streamlined way of onboarding people that know nothing about crypto and nothing about DeFi. Couple of clicks, their dirty fiat is USDC.
Mhm.
They can even direct deposit parts of their check to freaking Coinbase. There's all kinds of ways that they can onboard fiat there. It's free because of their deal with Circle. So it's free to buy USDC. It costs nothing to buy USDC to convert your fiat into USDC, and it costs nothing to move it off of Coinbase into DeFi and stuff like that. So they're building out the perfect ecosystem. I mean, they're already doing loans, borrows, lend and borrow for Bitcoin and ETH directly on Coinbase, utilizing Morpho. They're already doing home loans, where you can use your Bitcoin and and I think Ethereum as well as collateral if you want to get a home loan. Um, they're gonna. I mean, I see them adding. I think that's gonna be probably part of the new platform, Aerodrome platform. Coinbase is. I see that they're gonna start adding all the liquidity pool and all the offerings on Aerodrome on Coinbase as well. But you got to onboard with using a centralized exchange for the most part, and do a bunch of wallets, and freaking hot wallets and cold wallets and all this stuff, and do that funky dance just to get liquidity, on those platforms.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
barrier to entry.
I wonder if there's a way, you can take like prepaid cards and deposit money.
Oh
And we
shit!
got Discover Crypto in the chat.
Yeah. What up? I don't know who that is. Is that Drew? Who is that?
I wonder if there's a way where you could do like prepaid cards and register it under a different name and load, buy crypto with that, like anonymously. Yeah, I don't know. That would be it's Drew. What up, Drew?
What up, Drew? Yeah, no,
Well,
dude.
and also DAG isn't really generating you any money. It's just sitting there, right?
Well, and there's like almost no DeFi opportunities.
Yeah.
For it. So yeah, I mean, it's like I'm bullish on the project. The Constellation Network, very bullish on it. I just don't see where being a token holder that there's going to be much upside other than speculation on price go up. Like I said, I'm going to keep saying it. There's three major things that I'm looking for in projects right now. I'm looking for strong fundamentals. I'm looking for like actual adoption. Part of the fundamentals, actual adoption, and people, institutions, banks, governments, big things like that, actually building at scale on those networks. I'm looking at, part of the fundamentals again, if that project does it have interoperability? Is it being built into that kind of family of the chosen ones for interoperability for access to deep liquidity? So, Ethereum, is a must. That's the 800-pound gorilla in the room when it comes to liquidity. Tron, I would love to see a lot more, interoperability with Tron. There is deep liquidity with stablecoins on Tron, and it's outperforming Bitcoin. If you look at Tron, and this isn't me. Don't think that these are my smart words. This is stuff I've learned from David. So Tron, if you look at it, not Tron to USD, but if you look at Tron to Bitcoin, Tron is outperforming Bitcoin in a big way. Like it's in one of the biggest ways. Like if you look at the pairing, I'll have to look it up here in a second. But Tron, Hype, Canton Network are the three big ones that we've found so far that are actually alts that are outperforming Bitcoin.
I got it right here. The TRX BTC.
Yeah, I mean, look at
that's
that.
Daily.
So
here's the beginning of the year right here.
Like, look at how strong Tron has been performing against Bitcoin. So you actually would, be in a better position. Like if you bought $100,000 worth of Tron, and $100,000 worth of Bitcoin, you would have, dollar-wise, you would have more Tron right now than you would Bitcoin because it's outperforming. It's holding its value better than Bitcoin.
50% on the year.
We definitely catch your drift, Drew. We definitely catch your drift.
Hey, you gotta make quality time, man. That's
important. Know what? When you got as many rugrats as you got to be an opportunist. You gotta be you gotta
right?
Be like, you gotta be like a booty ninja.
Yeah,
you gotta sneak up on the booty, you gotta jump the booty, and then you gotta like ninja vanish before the kids show up. Because I'll tell you, kids are like birth control sometimes. It's like they're always wanting to like walk into rooms when you're in the middle of something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, you got to be a booty ninja, man. You got to sneak up on that trash, hit it, and and quit it. Hit it and get out. Yeah, exactly, Jay. Drew, you got to be a magician. You got to be like the master of magic. It's.
Hey, that's a fantastic fucking term right there. Oh man. Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh, dude, I'm excited for all you guys to come up and hang out. Drew, if you can, you should come up too. It's so basically Jeff is coming up middle of May. Or no, wait. Yeah.
Middle to
Yeah,
like the
middle of
mid
May.
2 weeks or something
Jeff
like
is
that.
coming up. Jay's coming up. David's coming up. And I think that what is it? Nova, and I think one other person from the community was talking about it. But yeah, Drew, if you want, man, you should come up. We're gonna go kayaking, go cliff diving, probably do some fishing, do some shooting, and then just hang out the creek that goes through the property here. Go out and sit on the island, and just drink beers, get drunk, and freaking do guy shit. You know, freaking,
Mm-hmm.
little broke back crypto. You know what I mean?
Bro,
Yeah,
some
no,
BBC.
we do a couple live shows. Do a couple live shows here in the living room. I got a big, U-shaped couch. We can all just set up the cameras and just have it to where we're all sitting in the same room and do a bunch of episodes of shit.
Hey, some BBC live streaming, Brokeback Crypto.
Yeah. BBC. Yeah, it's all about the BBC.
Yeah.
It's all about the BBC.
Oh, who's this? Peculiar?
We got somebody in the chat. Crypto is dead. You know what? Maybe,
We are
but I don't think so. But I don't pretend to know the future. I just know
not
that.
dead. Just
Well, sorry. Go ahead.
just kind of lulling. We're in the lull phase.
Well, that I don't see crypto going away. It's
No.
just I see a lot of projects going away, but I don't see crypto going away. I genuinely see crypto, and I'm going to use this to segue into the topic for tonight. I know it's kind of late for that, but it's important to understand that we are moving from a speculative market to a utility market right now.
I say you he did.
He did. We're moving from a speculative market to a utility market. We're moving from a retail speculative market to an institutional and government. Yeah, you can make money. Drew's gotten really good at trading.
Yep.
Freaking, he's probably making more than he's making at his 9-to-5 job by trading. He's been a bit of a degen, and doing some 10x leverage and shit. But you know what? It's working out
50.
Well, and you know what? It's working out for him.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk shit because he's making more money than I am. I'm making some good, steady money. But he's, if he's making, 7K, in a day and stuff like that, that's better than I'm doing.
Well, and the key thing is like working your way, like he was talking a week or two ago when he came on the show, the red pill. He was saying that, keeping your stop loss tight, I think what, like 1% or something like that, and he worked his way up.
It's probably more than I think he said 5%, like 5 or 6%.
Yeah, 5%.
I think is what he said.
But you know what you're comfortable working with, and he developed a strategy that works for him, and he knows what to identify. And
dude,
that's the key.
He said in the chat, he's using like 49x, 50x leverage and doing 5%. He can be wrong a bunch of times. If his stop loss is at 5%, he can be wrong a bunch of times. And with 49, 50x leverage, if he's right, even sometimes he's going to make the money back plus some. I suck at trading. I tried it and I sucked at it. DeFi right out the gate, it just made sense to me. It clicked, the stars aligned. It just made logical sense to me. I find good solid assets. I invest in them, that I can DeFi in some way, earn 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% APY, and just that slow, steady grind where I'm just constantly stacking these assets. Market go up, I'm stacking these assets. Market go down, I'm stacking these assets. Market go sideways, I'm stacking these assets. I'm stacking ass. I'm stacking ass.
Sets of ass.
Yes.
Sets of ass.
So yeah, basically what I'm doing is I sold my DAG for stables. I sold what else did I sell? What was that I sold? Hold on, I need a refresher.
And that's a great kind of thing to reassess. Like we've always talked about, even
Rebalance.
if you have conviction in something, you're like, if something doesn't jive with you, like,
Mhm.
the generating revenue for token holders, and you're like, okay, I thought this one thing, but it doesn't seem like it's panning out the way I thought. So I need to rebalance, reallocate into something that will be more beneficial for my future investments.
I sold a bunch of my Casper. I have a small moon bag just in case. There was something
Oh
else. I
yeah.
sold. It was only like $1,400, nothing major, but I sold one of my smaller bags, and like I said, I have a couple $1,000s off to the side. I still have all my aerodrome. I actually did another aerodrome lock today, for the last flight school,
Yeah.
because I mean that's like an instant 16 to as much as like one of my first lock. I ended up making over 50% in a flight school airdrop. So I locked 5,100 tokens and got 2,600 free arrow.
Dude.
So again, I'm not saying run out and do this, but I'm a degen on arrow. But I have a decent amount of arrow locked up or staked, and if arrow does anything meaningful, it's gonna make me a nice chunk of change each month. Like I'll just say, if arrow gets to, let's see, if I make, let me do some quick math. Go ahead and tell people what you plan on doing with your portfolio.
Oh, I mean, Arrow's going to be one of the first ones. Arrow and Canton are going to be uh, the first two that I start accumulating more of. Yeah, now that I'm getting a paycheck again, it'll be nice to. But I'm kind of glad because the market has been down and it hasn't really, ran. I'm kind of glad it's just staying down in the dumps right now, so I can have time to accumulate at these low price of
Oh shit,
bottom of the
Drew's
barrel.
Drew's saying that freaking
Ooh,
Isaac is like fucking clocking in at 185 pounds. But
damn.
dude, that's what happens in boot camp. That's what happened to me. I was like a buck. I was 100 pounds, 120 pounds, soaking wet when I first joined the army, and in boot camp. Just because of the regular exercise and the constant diet and whatnot, I got up to like 165, 170, and pretty much that's what I've weighed, my entire life. Like right now, I think I'm about 175, 180, and 5'10" is kind of where I'm sitting right now. But yeah, dude, boot camp, like you'll see people that are kind of thick or big, they'll slim down and lean up, and people that are like super skinny, they'll muscle up. And it's just kind of everybody by the end of boot camp, everybody has about the same physique. There's exceptions to the rule, but pretty much everybody has the same physique because they're controlling everything you do 24/7. When you wake
Yeah.
up, when you go to sleep, when you eat, what you eat, when you exercise, what exercises you do. It's not like, hey, we're going to the gym. It's like, there's a formation, and you're like, push-ups, and everybody repeats push-ups. It's like, start position, move. Everybody gets down to push-up position. Ready, begin. And they're like 1, 2, 3. And so you're doing it. I mean, even the rhythm of the push-ups, you're doing it with everybody because the instructors can look out across everybody doing the exercises. And if everybody's going up and down together, if anybody is out of sync or if they're not doing push-ups, you can instantly see it, because it's a
Yeah.
pattern. You see everybody going up and down. And if you just see somebody staying down or somebody that's not staying in rhythm, then they just swarm that person and scream and yell at them. And just
Get in
motivate the
that
shit out.
ass.
Yeah, no, it's like fucking stink on shit. They've just swarmed the
Mm-hmm.
person like, why are you not pushing? Why are you not pushing? And just freaking go with a stethoscope up your ass. But so no, but yeah, that's cool. It's good. I would be interested to talk to Isaac and just see what he thinks of it so far.
Yeah. Yeah, I see his profile picture, Jay. Like, damn, he looks a lot different. I mean, he's what, 19 now? Or is he 18? Because I know he's still
Isaac,
kind of, or yeah,
I would say he's probably 20 because
he's
I mean
20.
yeah, I would say probably 20 by now. Yeah, okay. Drew says yeah. All right. Hey Drew, I mean by all means, if he's interested, give him my contact info. I'm more than happy to kind of share my routine because I mean I'm not like super crazy fit, but for being I'm about to turn 52, and I operate pretty good for 52. I mean I drop trees and cut firewood, and it's you know, there's people in a lot worse shape than me at my age. So, um, but yeah,
Facts.
Drew, definitely, brother. Freaking see if you can swing coming up here, even if it's just for like a long weekend. If you come up for like 2 or 3 days, I'll come pick you up from the airport and drop you off in the airport and all that stuff. Just show up, and we'll freaking have
Mhm.
steaks, drink beers, do some episodes. It'll be a lot of fun, brother. Yeah, Jay, if you want, we can do some training while you're up here. We can do some shooting. We'll do some knife fighting. I got those dummy knives, so we can do like some knife fighting training. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, we can whatever you guys want. We can do some sparring. I'll order some pads. We can get like some
Ooh.
gloves and like and some feet pads and some headgear, and we can do some sparring if you guys want.
Oh, what is it? The sock and boppers or the big inflatable,
Oh,
things
the
from back in the
sumo suits?
90s?
Yeah, get the
The
sumo
sumo.
suits and I run at each other. Bam!
Oh man.
No, but
Oh
no,
shit.
I'm serious. I mean, that's why I'm kind of excited because Jay's talking about potentially moving up here. If he comes up here and likes it, potentially moving up here, and you've even entertained the idea.
Mhm.
It'd be awesome to have some other guys around, like just to motivate you to work out and just it it's good to have just
A community.
it's good to have other dudes around because dudes motivate each other. They talk
Mhm.
shit to each other. They call each other pussies, and whenever you're like working out, and you're like, "Oh, you giving up already, fucking pussy?" Do you want a maxi pad?
Yep.
It's just that's the way guys are, and that's one thing I miss about the military is that the camaraderie. It's like
Uh-huh.
everybody, they give you shit because that's how we motivate each other. And, we kind of force each other to become better versions of ourselves.
And building out the land too. You got
Hmm.
a lot that you can do there. And
Oh yeah, yeah.
man,
I can't
building like
wait
a
for you to.
studio and a little gym on site and
Yeah.
oh shit.
Well, like the gym, I want to build a big gazebo. Basically do like I don't know, maybe like a 20-foot by 30-foot platform, and then do a cover on it and do it out of like kind of how I did the cabin with the milled wood, but do like 8 by 8 posts, so it's big thick posts, and then
Yeah.
do like big thick or even use like tree trunks, like big tree trunks,
Yeah.
across, and then you could hang heavy bags and you could have
Oh
different work
yeah.
pulleys for like workout gear, and basically
Mhm.
just make our own workout gear, just using pulleys and stuff like that, and the frame of the structure, and just bolt on like pull up bars and stuff like that. I mean, you don't need
Oh
to
fuck
do
yeah.
fancy machines and things like that. The
No.
mountain, the mountain's steep as shit. Fucking, I mean, the mountain is like this. So, running up the logging road that goes, here on the property that goes up the mountain, we could just run up the logging road and then down and just, like basically do what I do to do my workouts is I do laps. So I'll run up the logging road and then come down one of the trails. And then I have this big tractor tire with a sledgehammer and I beat the shit out of that. and then I'll run down to the creek, and down on the island, I'll do like a set of push-ups, like 40 push-ups, and then I'll run to the next station. So I have like stations, like in a circuit, and I just do different exercises at different stations. I have like 5 or 6 stations, and so basically I'm working my cardio, and I'm basically working out for performance, to be able to perform physically, not for aesthetics. I don't care what I look like. I care how I can perform.
Yeah, more functional. You don't want to be all jacked and can't really fucking do anything.
Oh yeah, if you're getting gassed, like everything you do, you're like getting winded and gassed. It's like, what's the fucking point? It's like,
when that video I sent you with the dude with the kettlebells, that like doing the grip strength shit, all that, you don't need a fancy equipment to get hella strong.
Dude,
it's just
a set of kettlebells, some pulleys, because the kettlebells, dude, like with the pulleys, you can just run a rope or chains through the handles of kettlebells, and and basically make whatever weight you want, because you can have like a 10 and a 35, and you have a 40, and that's 45 pounds. You want to add a little bit more, add like a 5-pounder or another 10-pounder, and if you're pulling it on a pulley, then you can do all kinds of different and run the rope through different pulleys. Like if you want to do something from the side, you just run it through a different set of pulleys. And then freaking. So yeah, and there's all kinds of pulleys that you can get, like for climbing, where like when you unclip it, it opens up so that you can just quickly put it on a rope. So you don't have to like take everything apart to put the rope through pulleys. You can just grab one of the climbing pulleys, that opens up. You put it on the rope, and then you put it over and clip it on. So it's fast.
Shit. Yep.
But yeah, dude, it's like it'd be cool to have a couple dudes up here to work out with, and like you said, improve the property and stuff.
Well, and you're clearing trees and brush and doing all kinds of stuff on the land. That's a hard work sometimes, and you're fucking you're using all your muscles, man. You're not just you're twisting, you're turning, and
well, and not to mention, like when I was building the cabin by myself sometimes, I was up on the roof on a slick metal roof. If I fall and there's nobody out here, like when I was first building the cabin, I didn't have power, I didn't have internet, there's no cell signal. If I would have fell off the roof and like broke my neck, I would have been food for the animals, because it would have been at least a week or two before anybody came looking for me. So, it's real living.
Dangerous. Dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so back to the topic. So yeah, I have a couple of grand, nothing crazy, but a couple of grand in stable coins. Wish I would have sold some other projects earlier. I think where I think that we're at, in the cycle, I feel like I'm better off just holding what I got on a lot of the projects. Obviously Aerodrome with the locks or the staking. I'm those are just, they are what they are. But my Ethereum, I'm gonna hodl. My Canton, I'm just gonna hodl and earn. I'm earning with that Braun wallet still, so not a ton, but about 300, like 300 to 320 free Canton a month is what I'm earning. Okay. And so yeah, I mean, and I don't have to. There's no very low risk.
Is it auto compound?
It doesn't auto compound, but it just earns. The Braun wallet. So basically, for having 10,000 Canton tokens and 10,000 Braun tokens, I earn like around like 10, around 10 Canton a day. And then for having a Braun membership, I earn another like 2.5 tokens a day. And so it's just, that little tick, tick, tick that I love. Because I see Canton with all this people that are signing up as super validators and that are being onboarded, and the amount of volume and the fees being generated. Again, back to this. Actually, let me pull it up and I'll share it.
And Canton's at 14 cents, so $1.40 a day. You're just
and that's at current value. That's at current value.
Yep.
Yeah. So right now, here, I'll share my screen. So right now it's earning, I've seen it as high as $3 million per day in fees that Canton earns. So right now it's at $2 million. But $2 million a day is what Canton is earning. So what? That's 60 million a month. So it's per month, Canton is generating $60 million in fees. I mean, stop and think about that for a minute. And I feel that there is a mechanism in place, and I actually want to have Shaw back on because I want to talk to him. I'm waiting for this to mature a little bit. I want to find out if there is a way, because I mean, right now I'm earning Canton, so I'm happy. But I want to find out if there's going to be any like strong DeFi plays where you can earn with your Canton.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is going to be a big decider on how long I hold my Canton. If I see like some big upside and there isn't any DeFi plays where I can earn with it, I'll probably sell more than if they come out with some ways to earn.
Yeah, what is your APR on that earning of CC?
It's not really an APR because it's basically the Braun wallet. My understanding is that the Braun wallet built on Canton, so they earn, fees for being like if they have a validator or if they built on Canton. That's the way the tokenomics work with Canton. Is that the people are incentivized to be validators, super validators, and to develop on Canton. And so that's where those fees are. That's where those tokens that are generated, because it has an infinite supply, but it's always decreasing. The max amount that can be generated.
Yeah, the burn mint ratio. They're trying to.
Well, and there's halvings. There's halvings as well.
Okay.
So, they earn Canton. And so Braun Wallet, the way I understand it, is they're sharing that with people that are using the wallet to incentivize people to use the wallet. But like David says, Canton is a legit protocol. And he's saying those revenue numbers are going to go straight up, and he's correct, because the more all of these partnerships, and this isn't like they were on the stage at some convention or something like that, or there's rumors of. I mean, there is massive organizations that are signing up to be super validators and validators on the Canton network, that are building on the Canton network, and that are adopting it. And so that's where all of those fees are coming from. And as the use of the network goes up, then the burn mint ratio that Jeff was just talking about goes lopsided. So right now it's inflationary. We're at about, let me pull it up, and is it helps to show you.
And this is all when the markets are taking a beating. So
yes. And like Jeff said, the price of Canton, and like David has been showing, relative to Bitcoin, Canton is outperforming Bitcoin. It's one of the few. But if you look currently, it's down quite a bit. So we're at about a 0.6. So at a value of 1. So we're at 0.6 at a value of 1. That is what Canton refers to as equilibrium. Mm-hmm. That means that there's an equal amount of Canton tokens being burnt because 100% of the fees that are generated are burned. that this is the tokenomics of Canton. So it means that 100% of the tokens that are minted by the super, to pay the super validators and all that stuff, 100% of the fees are burnt. So there is an equal amount of new Canton being made as is being burnt. That's the burn mint ratio. So as that becomes lopsided because of adoption and network usage, Canton potentially becomes deflationary. So the supply of Canton, as long as the network usage stays up, the supply of Canton consistently decreases because there's more fees being paid than Canton being generated. I hope that makes sense.
What do you say? When JP Morgan says they're moving 15% of their repo book to Canton over the next 24 months, I take notice. That's like trillions per day.
Yeah.
He said, this is the crazy regulated walled garden chain type shit.
But you know what? The powers, the powers that be, they do not want to give up their power. They do, over, over the liquidity, over the system and, us. And so, yes, I am all for DeFi. Yes, if everybody woke up one day and said, "Screw the system, we're all going to use DeFi, we're all going to use Bitcoin, we're not using fiat anymore. We're basically we're blackballing the system." If that day ever came, I'm 100% on board. But until that day, until people have that aha moment, I'm going to invest in these projects that are basically building out specifically for TradFi. Is it against the CryptoPunk ethos? Absolutely. But you know what? I'm here to make money. I can be pissed and broke, or I can be pissed and rich. I choose pissed and rich. Yep. I'll be right back. I'm going to go make myself a drink, and I've talked way too much because I got a buzz. So it's your turn, Jeff. Take it away.
Oh yeah. No, I saw that there were some more projects shutting down, if you can believe it. If you all can believe it. Let me change this. Yeah, specifically, well, the Leap wallet we talked about, but so Magic Eden, the NFT marketplace on Solana, they have a wallet that they're sunsetting. Now, the NFT marketplace isn't shutting down, but their wallet is shutting down. And Dmail is a project that's shutting down, this AI-powered decentralized private messaging infrastructure. So like a decentralized email. Yeah, I choose rich every time. And Dmail was one, like, they did an airdrop a year or so ago, I think last year. But yeah, these
they dropped the D.
They dropped the D, man, from the air all on our heads. And it wasn't anything good either.
I never want the D dropped on my head.
I mean, look at so far, at least 21 projects shut down this year, and we're just now started Q2.
Oh, dude, it's going to get much worse. At some point, I honestly believe that 95% to 99% of projects are going to freaking disappear. I mean, let's look at it this way. Let me pull it up. There are 47.83 million different cryptos out there. I guarantee you, I 100% guarantee you that probably 98, 99% of those are going to go the way of the dodo. They're going to go to zero and never recover. They're going to lose 99%, of their value and just never come back. And it's going to be like the .coms. It's going to be like, the search engines. There used to be a shit ton of search engines. Pretty much there's Google now. Brave, has thrown their hat in the ring, and there's some other ones out
Yeah.
there, but for the most part, the 800-pound gorilla is Google. When it
Mm-hmm.
comes to online shopping, pretty much it's Amazon. There's other places, yes, that you can online shop, but if you're just what's the first thing that pops in your head when you're like, oh, I need to order something, I need to order
Amazon.
something online,
Yeah.
Amazon. It
Like, oh, I'm just going to Google it. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter
no,
what's the, yeah.
it instead of people saying I'm going to do an online search, they say I'm going to Google it. It became
Yeah.
part of our vocabulary. There's going to be cryptos that are like that. And
Yeah.
honestly, there's some of them that you're not even going to know that you're using them. Like Canton Network,
Mm-hmm.
it's becoming the backbone of the banking system. Like everything Ripple said that it was going to be, Canton is becoming. The
Yeah.
cross-border liquidity, the rails, between banks. I mean, it's exactly what it's purpose built for, but it has compliance, natively built into it. KYC and AML, know your customer and anti-money laundering. All that compliance stuff is natively built into it. Just every aspect of what the banks want, the privacy layer, so that the different institutions, not everything is just on the blockchain for everyone to see. There's a privacy layer. You don't want people to know what you have in your bank account, and the banks don't
Yeah.
want other banks seeing, and they want to keep your holdings private. It's just they quietly built for a decade Canton Network, purpose built for banks and institutions. And they're
Mm-hmm.
adopting the shit out of it. Credit card companies, all of them are adopting the shit out of Canton Network.
Yeah. And when I heard that, I forget who it was saying that you wouldn't want somebody that you're paying a service for to go look at your wallet once you get paid. You go look at that person's wallet and you're potentially a target. If you have a certain amount and that person is like, oh, this person has all this money in their wallet, I'm going to go extort them. You don't want that, even chance to get
No.
fucking caught up in something. So that's where the privacy is important.
Hey David, if you want to come on the show, if you're not busy, if you want to come on the show, dude, just log in. You don't have to ask. This is the Node Network. We're just freaking footloose and fancy free in this bitch.
Footloose, kick off your Sunday shoes.
No, but yeah, it's David's right. In the next 6 months, you're going to see the best opportunities. You're going to have the best opportunities for the next 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
because October is where I know David has said multiple times, down to the day. What is it? I think it's October 6th or October 5th.
Yeah.
Is the bottom. And that's based off the Bitcoin cycle. Like it or not, it's up into so far. It can change, but so far, the cycle has held the Bitcoin. That 4-year cycle, it's stuck with it, and as long as it sticks to that, that's your best bet, is to follow the 4-year cycle until there's confirmation that the 4-year cycle is broken. And I've said that
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was broken, back when things started to pump and stuff like that, because it felt like it wasn't moving the same, and so I thought, oh well, maybe this is going to be that super cycle that everybody was talking about. I thought that was a possibility, and that's why I held my tokens for too long. As I was like, hey, I don't want to get faked out. I don't want the market to dip, and then I sell, expecting a bear market, and then everything freaking goes to Valhalla, and I miss out on it. And my crypto investments is money I don't need. It's extra money.
Yeah.
If it all goes to zero, yeah, it's going to suck. I have a decent portfolio, but am I going to go without food? Am I not going to have a roof over my head? No, I'm going to be fine. So it takes the emotion out of it for me. So yeah, I'm around tripping some bags, and I'm always honest. If you don't know, if you haven't been watching us before, everybody that watches us know I'm 100% real 100% of the time. I'm going to tell you if I lose money. I'm going to tell you if I make money. We're all about facts here, and I'll never pretend to be a subject matter expert on anything. I'm just sharing my knowledge and my journey. What you do with that knowledge and how you incorporate it into your journey is up to you. We are here to simply educate. What you do with that knowledge is 100% up to you.
Yeah. Learn, educate, and just try and be as transparent with everything, to everybody, with all the stuff that we do. Yeah, have integrity. Because we've seen too many channels, too many people just spouting nonsense and misleading or pumping up, giving predictions and all kinds of shit, man.
No,
and you find out years later they're like, shady. Bitboy.
Well, dude, most of them, they get paid to show projects. And it's not all of them, but we have a policy. David agrees with it, you agree with it, I agree with it. We're the owners of the company, and it's that we will not ever get paid to talk about a project, good or bad. We're just going to tell you the way it is. We're going to, very objectively look at it and say, this is what we like about it, this is what we don't, and that's it. We're here to educate. We're not influencers, we're educators.
Yeah, that whole term is just, nah, man.
I don't want to influence you at all.
No.
I don't want you to buy or sell anything, when it comes to crypto or whatever. I just want you to do it with as much knowledge as possible and mitigate your risk as much as possible so that you have the best chance for success. I just want to see people be successful. That's it. Yep. So do the opposite of what I say and you'll be successful.
Yeah. So Zip said, I like Dave's take on XRP today. He says what nobody else will say.
Oh, shit. Zip, you haven't heard me talk about XRP. David's calm. David's cool and collected when it comes to XRP. Me, I
go for the jugular. He goes for the jugular.
Dude. I'm vicious when it comes to XRP.
Yeah. Objective analysis, no conflicts, man.
No. And you know what? On every one of our shows, we have differing opinions. On the Red Pill, on this show, on the Node, we encourage people to disagree respectfully and debate logically, like people used to, not based off of how you feel or emotions or personal attacks or anything like that.
Just go look at last night's episode, of the Red Pill. How David, like all of us, were kind of just challenging each other, and everyone's respectful, and I got a lot of respect for people who are able to discuss like that and like, okay, I don't agree, but this is my stance, and you're like, okay, well, I don't agree, and then we're not yelling over each other, and everyone's talking calm and respectful, and it's dude, awesome.
Like Colin and David, I mean, they have very opposing views. That's where the joke comes from. It's the Jews. Is David is pro-Israel, and Colin is I don't want to say he's pro-Palestine, but he leans more towards that side, to where and they have very spirited discussions, but they're both still friends. I mean, they're not like bosom buddies, and they've never met in person, and they've only met on the show and stuff, but they're both very respectful of each other. They listen to each other speak. And then they rebut. They say, okay, well, if I understand what you're saying, this is what you're saying. Is that correct? Confirm that what I heard and what I understood, this is what it is. Did I understand you right? So that you make sure that you're not talking past each other. You're like, and it cools the other person down too. When you have a discussion like that, to where like if you tell me something, Jeff, and I repeat it back to you, and I'm like, okay, you said that you hate XRP because of XYZ. And I say, all right, well, what I understood is you're not a fan of XRP because of XYZ. And you're like, yes, that's what I mean. It's like, okay, well, this is what I think based off that. And then you do the same thing. It's like to make sure that you understood what the other person's intent was. Mm-hmm. And then it stops the talking past each other to where you're listening to respond, not to understand. It's important that you listen to understand, not just to get that gotcha moment that so many people do on social media now.
Yeah. Yeah. Not thinking about what you're going to say while the other person's talking, because that can get you in a trap to where you're not even paying attention to what they're saying. You're just like, okay, I'm going to say this, but you just completely missed what they're telling you or what they're explaining. And that's one thing that this whole show has helped me with the past year and a half, is just really listening to other people and hearing what they have to say, and not just talking or trying to form my own opinion and what I'm going to say in response while they're talking. It's like, okay, let me hear them and digest it. And the red pill's been great for that too. So it takes progress, if you're not
you're the best one on the show on listening for sure. This show has made me come out of my shell and talk a lot more than I do when I'm off camera.
Oh yeah.
Believe it or not, I'm not much of a talker when I'm off camera, but on camera for some reason, like the more extrovert personality comes out, because I think it's the instructor, because like I was never big on standing in front of crowds and stuff like that, and public speaking. It didn't bug me. But, it didn't bug me, but I wasn't much of a public speaker, and I wasn't an instructor. I wasn't anything like that. But in the military, it gets you a lot more comfortable with stuff like that. And then I actually went to recruiting school, which a big part of that is they actually formal education on how to be an instructor. How to convey information in front of a group, and keep people engaged, and voice inflection, and hand movements, not using repetitive words. Like you should never say like a lot of people will be like when they're trying to formulate their next thought. It's better if you just stop talking, think about it for a second and process, and then continue. And it's they call it distractors. And so if you're using those, people start focusing in on you using those fillers instead of the information that that you're trying to convey.
Yeah, especially people who are highly attentive to stuff like that. It just break down people's mannerisms and kind of analyzes what they do and their behaviors. It really matters, because
it does, because
I don't really want to listen to this person because it's annoying. It's draining.
Well, Elon Musk. If you've watched Elon Musk speak, he almost sounds like he's autistic or retarded. When I first saw my first interview with him, I was like, what the hell? This guy, Tesla, SpaceX, what? It's like I couldn't see it. But then I actually sat and listened to him, and I understood that the reason he has these long, drawn out pauses when he's talking about things is I honestly think that in his head, he has to think of ways to dumb down what he's thinking about so that people will understand.
Yeah.
He has to simplify, because that guy works 7 days a week, like pretty much every waking hour of the day. He's just one of those high performers like that. And I honestly think he's on the spectrum or something.
Oh, 100%. I mean, just how he grew up and the kind of nerd he was.
Yeah.
being outcast and being forced to make friends with his siblings' friends, and they didn't really want to play with him. So.
Well, I mean, even now, you look at him and just how awkward he is. Whenever he gets like worked up, like when he's in front of a crowd and like everybody's cheering. Like when he was jumping around on stage with Trump and stuff like that. It was like a kid.
Yep.
It was. I think he's on the spectrum, but look at the shit he's accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wish I was on the spectrum if I could, accomplish what that dude's accomplished.
Well, to get some things like that done, you have to be so high performing.
Well, honestly, success, what success boils down to is discipline, focus, and being willing to do what other people aren't. Work longer hours, take more risks,
sacrifices,
whatever it is.
Oh, water went down the wrong tube.
Yeah, no, black ice, absolutely. Freaking, when a stream is playing and they start saying over and over, then yeah, I can't sit and listen to somebody and I don't know if it's just that pattern recognition, because I know that like more intelligent people, they tend to focus on pattern recognition. That's why a lot of like really intelligent people are good at like cryptography and things like that, is they're able to see patterns in things. People that do like counterintelligence and intelligence work, as far as like espionage, things like that. Because if you can see patterns in things, it's the same thing with investing. Seeing patterns in charts, seeing patterns in behavior. It's highly intelligent people in cards. Like Rain Man with counting cards. They're seeing patterns. In math. Math is a pattern. It's a logical, sequence. And so, people that are highly intelligent, it's just that they can see patterns in everything. And so, yeah, it's interesting that it's interesting how something as simple as that pattern of somebody saying can throw you out of being able to actively listen to what the information that the person is trying to convey.
Yeah, and I agree with Black Ice right here too, because there's been plenty of females that I've not just been interested in, but been friends with, and like, and I just nope, I can't even be around you, man.
It's like nails on a chalkboard, and especially when guys do it too.
Yeah,
my nephew, I was just biting my cheek, freaking like whenever I hang out with him and stuff like that, I just bite my cheek because I'm like really? We're like, are you a teenage girl? What are we doing here? Take a breath, think about what you want to say next, and then say it. You don't have to keep talking. We'll wait.
So, yeah.
So, I love him to death, but and actually, you know what? He, my one nephew, I'm kind of excited about it. Taylor's son, Kai, is thinking about coming up here for the summer and staying with me for the summer. And so I'm kind of excited about it because I want to work with him. So I want to work out with him, but dude, the kid's a beast. He's like I forget which division, but he's a state level wrestler in Texas, and wrestling's big in Texas. He's like a really good wrestler. And then jujitsu. Before their house burned down, they had this huge spiral staircase, and on the wall inside the staircase, they had Taylor, his wife, all of his kids, all of like the gold, silver, and bronze medals that they had won all around the world, not just in their area. they traveled to like Ireland and all kinds of like places overseas to compete in jiu-jitsu. And so they're like been doing it for like over a decade and really good at it. And so yeah, he's coming up here, and so yeah, I want him to show me some jujitsu stuff.
Dude, that's gonna be awesome. Get him out in the nature, out of the city.
Oh yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah.
We're like way over. I got on my all kinds of topics instead of crypto.
Oh, Spaceballs 2 will be released next April.
Hold on. Is Rick Moranis in it?
That's what they're saying.
If Rick Moranis is in it, I'll watch it.
I'll go to the theaters and watch it.
Well, do you know the story about him?
Yeah, because his wife died, and
well, tell the story. Tell the story.
I mean, I just know because you mentioned that like his wife died or was sick, and he stepped away from acting.
Yes. So those of you that don't know, if you're younger, you might not remember. Rick Moranis did Spaceballs. He did Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. He did a ton.
Little Shop of Horrors.
What's that?
Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors.
He's in Ghostbusters.
Bunch. Yeah, Ghostbusters. The guy was, I freaking
I am the Keymaster. Are you the gatekeeper?
Exactly. It's like, Gozer the Gozerian, Gozer the Destructor has come. Yeah, man. Rick Moranis. Freaking love that guy. But what a stand-up dude. So him and his wife had a couple of kids. His wife came down with a terminal illness, and without even, with no fanfare, no, social media posts, because it wasn't around at the time, no media coverage, he just disappeared. Like, just one day he was gone. And come to find out years later, it surfaced why. His wife got terminally ill, and so he just walked away from acting. He took, all the money that he made, just lives a normal life, stepped away so he could take care of his wife, take care of his kids. She passed away, and he was a stay-at-home dad. I'm sure he had other things going, but he took care of his kids, got them to school, did all that stuff, and was just a freaking stand-up dude. He was what a man should be. Man, my hat's off to him. I'll support anything that guy does. He walked away at the top. He was it wasn't like his career was on the downslide. He was at the tippy top of his career and walked away without batting an eye.
Gosh, man. Yeah, respect. A lot of respect.
Oh yeah, Little Giants. Jay.
Oh that
movie, Little Giants, about the Little League baseball team.
Football.
Oh, football. Sorry. Yeah, football.
Yeah. Ed O'Neill was in it. His older brother, and
I remember it was kids playing sports. It's been a minute since I've seen it.
God, such a great. He's got quite a catalog.
No, he was in a shit ton of movies.
Dude. Yep.
Well, put it up on the screen.
Oh no, so in this
David just ninja appeared.
Oh, he's got no hat.
It is
because it's not David, it's FNJ Esquire.
Esquire. Reporting to you live, bro, from it looks like St. Petersburg, somewhere that I am.
You're like BitBoy when he was outside of Carlos's house trying to get his Lamborghini.
My God.
Oh, dude, didn't he get arrested for that shit?
Yeah,
and then like 5150 or something off of that.
Yeah, the cops pulled up while he was out there, ranting and raving.
And he didn't want to say who he was with, and
he had his fanny pack on. He had his fanny pack on, and he had his hands up, and he's like, I have a gun. It's in the car.
He kept looking down at the fucking.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that guy was such a train wreck.
Oh man, but like, all of that stuff with Discover Crypto, and like before it was, what was it called? BitBoy Crypto, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, he made bread because people loved him. They loved his content. They loved him
He was
acting a fool.
entertaining.
Well,
Yeah.
any shield projects.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
He
But
showed the hell out of
he was
projects.
entertaining. It's like
Yeah.
people even after he split with BitBoy Crypto, went his own way, and then Discover Crypto took over everything. But even after he went his own way, it's just he had a following. It just there were some people that just they liked the personality.
I mean, honestly, he was kind of entertaining.
Well,
and
who's that guy, the Hex Network guy? What was his name?
Dude,
Richard Hart.
Yeah.
But the same thing with him.
Pain.
That guy had a huge following, and he was just a dill hole that went out and spent their money on Louis Vuitton bags and outfits.
That video of him walking out of that store.
Yeah,
fat ass walking out of there with like too many bags.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. And he had like a cult following with the hexagons. It was a cult following. I was like, holy shit.
Bro, he made like $1 billion off of that shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it came out with Pulse, like that Pulse, whatever that was. I forget what it did, but it was it was a project on Hex, on Hex Network called Pulse.
That Pulse chain?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that Pulse chain actually was kind of hot at the very beginning, like really before the bull market started. All of a sudden, Pulse chain in like 2023 and like spring started getting hot. And then like all the projects on Pulse chain though, back then, they were all scams. All of them. Like every single one, dude. Like, so like you could have made money. I made some money on that shit just because I was in and out really fast.
That's the key.
That's basically it.
That's the key though, is on a lot of these, purely speculative, freaking like meme coins and, these, hype, the projects that are hyped up. You got to get in early and you got to get out quick. And make some money and just get out. That's the key to those. And I don't know how many of those are left. I mean, what do you guys think, Jeff? I mean, what do you think with the adoption with institutions, where we're at with legislation? How much more of that 50x, 100x tokens do you see in the future?
Oh, not much at all. I mean, we have just, and I was saying this years ago with the amount of layer twos like blowing up. We don't need all that shit, and all these projects that have been shutting down this year, it doesn't surprise me one bit. And I think it's necessary. Like Jay was saying in the chat earlier, it just pulls liquidity all over the place. Like with the meme coins that we talked about last year, it just pulls all that liquidity to bullshit. Yeah. And the true value gets lost.
The more of these crypto projects that go the way of the dodo, the better. Because the liquidity is going to be in much fewer projects. There'll be
more dodo that can go into other places.
Look how much liquidity got sucked out of the market with the Trump coin.
Yeah.
I mean, right when the market was taking off, billions and billions of dollars got sucked out of the market from that fucking Trump coin. I didn't buy any of it. I know that there's some people that made money on it, and hats off to them. It's that.
Yeah, bro, Mike, that Trump coin.
It sucked the air out of the room.
It marked the top. It marked the top for Sol. That's what it did, because there were literally like billions of dollars that went into that Trump shit. But dude, it lasted for maybe 36 hours, maybe. Yeah. And you know what? It launched on a Friday evening, Pacific time, and I got into it with 50 grand as an LP. Yeah. And I did that on Saturday morning. The next morning, made a killing. I made 25 grand that day in like 6 hours. And then I got out and then it dumped. Like I just got in as an LP on Orca, got out, and that was it. and
made 50% in a day.
Yeah. But everyone else lost money. You know?
Well, and you did it smart. You were like, oh shit, this isn't sustainable. Let me get out. As other people, they're up. You know, somebody was saying they bought in early, but then they held up to 70 and then wrote it back down. It's like, if you're up that much, bro, and you don't get out or at least take some profits, like
it's the same thing that happened with GameStop. You know, that whole story. They did a whole movie about it where, you know, everybody FOMO'd into it and they, you know, it pumped the shit out of it. And then the smart people got out, took their profits, but the people that were emotionally invested in the movement aspect of it, they stayed in way too long, and they were the exit liquidity for the smart people.
Yeah, man, you can't hold that shit. You can't hold it at all. It's too volatile. And, you know, for me, it was simple. Like, I had made an insane amount of money in 6 hours. So, like, there was no question about it. It was like, I'm out. That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. You know, so, it's like when you're at the blackjack or poker table and the dealer leaves, you know, they're like,
it's game over, bro. It's game over. Exactly.
Wow.
No stops, none of that. Just, you know, in and out. So
you hit it and quit it.
Yeah, I got lucky. I got lucky, dude. I got lucky, and it worked.
You gave that Trump coin. You hit it, and then you quit it.
Fucking, you know what? I just, dude, on Orca, like, I got in enough size to make it make sense, and I'm pretty, you know, like, I'm pretty sure I came in big enough, bro. Like, because I took like half of that liquidity pool. I remember, like, because the liquidity pool was like 100K at the fee tier I was in. It was really small, and so I got half of the fucking fees for like a solid several hours, and then I got out. You know, and then it fucking dumped like hours later. I just got lucky, dude. I just got lucky. But the biggest I missed one, bro, on the Solana casino meme season. You remember Book of Meme, bro? You remember that one? Dude, I missed that one literally by a couple of hours, where I was talking about it. Dude, I was talking about it, and I was BOME, exactly, dude. I was talking about it. It was a Thursday night, and every Thursday I had to write the end of week report for the UIG because I was working for Lucas at the time. This was like 2024. Shit. And so I'm writing the end of week report talking about Book of Memes, saying, hey, this shit might blow up. Like, put a couple $100 in it. And I said, literally in the report, put $300 in it. Okay. And I didn't put the $300 in it because I didn't have at that time $300 to put in it. And so if I would have done that, the next morning, I would have woken up to like $2 million. Like, no joke. It would have gone 300 to 2 million on Book of Meme. And I missed that one. I missed that.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's real, bro. Like, we can go back in time. I got receipts for all that shit. That shit sucks.
How did you find that? Like, and figure out that it was gonna...
Book of Meme. I was just like living that, you know, fucking trenches lifestyle at that time. Yeah. So, like, I just knew that shit was likely to pop off, and it fucking did, and I didn't put the money in, and then that was it. So,
God damn,
I missed it. I missed that one. It's the great white buffalo, bro. It's the great white buffalo.
You had it.
No, that was your Moby Dick,
dude. It's the buffalo, the one that got away.
Yep.
Fuck.
So. No, it's I mean, pretty much, you know, like I said, I mean, I pretty much, I wish that we would have been doing the node, you know, like, you know, earlier on, because I probably would have gotten out of most of my positions, but I kind of feel like we're closer to the bottom than the top, and that you know, there's some projects that I should just hold, but, you know, I kind of already went through the ones that I sold into USDC, but, yeah, it's, I don't know. I definitely have a goal. You know, my goal is to get a couple $100,000. This has always been my goal. I want to get a couple $100,000. I want to earn, you know, 15-20% on like 80%.
Check out this place, Mike. Imagine if we could buy this place for the Node Network, bro.
Well, dude, now,
you know what I'm saying?
I would love that place, but it would need to be like on 20 acres. And to where you don't have freaking weirdos walking by and
because you look, here's the water right here, but you got all sorts of people walking by this like all day, bro.
Yeah,
all sorts of people walking by all day from the whole city, man.
Dude, I'm spoiled.
The whole city, bro. Imagine you've got bro. Like imagine you've got behind you, like you've got a $6 million mansion, but
I would rather live in my
all walks of life
square foot cabin than that place, just because of the privacy. Now I would love a like a nice place like that, but I would want it to be like on a private island, or I want it to be in the woods, or or some.
You don't have no hoodlums running by.
Well, so
because you guys, you've got hoodlums running by. There's crazy motherfuckers out here, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's 9:30 at night. I was out here midnight, 1, 2, fucking. There's all hours of the night. There's crazy motherfuckers out here. You don't want to be out here if you're a female, really.
Well, dude, if I saw a place like that, I mean, the thing that goes through my mind is that if things ever went to shit, if there was ever looting going on because there was a hurricane and a flood like in Katrina, all of those houses is what people are going to be going through.
Exactly, bro. Because you know what's going to happen when the power goes out? These places, like this place behind me, they're going to have generators on, but they're going to be the only ones. Well, and it's going to be like a big ass beacon.
Generators they attract.
Come raid us.
Yeah, it's like, hey, check it out. You can see what you're jacking over here.
Exactly.
Exactly. But it's not just that, you guys. It's the water behind me. You see the water behind me?
No,
it's a bayou.
Where's the water?
Right behind me.
Where is it?
Show us where the water touched you, David.
That's the water.
Can't see it.
It's called it's got a cool name. It's called the Coffee Pot Bayou.
Yeah. And
so this it's like literally 6 or 12 inches deep. At its deepest part, it's like 6 feet deep.
That's what super
shallow. Yeah, dude. Fuck. So
it's deep enough for a chef to get drowned in, right?
Yeah, well, if you had to do that, if you were, Obama.
Yeah, that was in Hawaii. Clinton.
Hey, that Obama drowning, that guy that he like had killed, that guy was like a really good swimmer.
Yeah.
That doesn't just happen to a really experienced swimmer, dude. That's bullshit.
Well, I don't know the details of it, but I know that it was like the personal chef or something like that, and I know he is a really good swimmer, but I'll be honest. There's riptides. If you've ever been caught in a riptide, it doesn't matter how strong of a swimmer you are if you don't know how to get out of it, because if you panic and try to swim straight into shore, you're not going to outswim a riptide. You're going to get tired and you're going to get sucked out to sea. So if you don't swim across a riptide,
but Obama had a black eye though.
See, there is things that
he for sure had a black eye, dude.
No.
His hand was fucked up too, and that shit's on camera. Like
there was aspects. There was some aspects.
Honestly, like where the fuck is the FBI? Do we not have an independent investigative agency in the United States any longer? Because like, how the fuck is it that just because you're the president, you can commit murder and that's fine?
Well, I mean,
I don't get it.
I mean,
allegedly. But like, there's evidence. That's called circumstantial evidence, man.
Oh, no. I mean, there's definitely questions. There's definitely questions, and I 100% agree. Where the rich and powerful live by a different set of rules.
What the fuck is that?
Well, you got politicians that are, that basically are insider trading. And stuff that we would go to prison for, but they can do it.
You think that Big Mike has a dick?
There's been some compelling photographs and stuff.
Yeah, been some very compelling photographs.
No, dude, really? That's funny.
Big Mike. I mean, and what's her name? The Brigitte Macron. I mean,
you've
seen her walk.
Yeah,
the walks like a man.
Minister's wife or whatever.
Bro, but she also, I think that's a man. And also, that tranny was assaulting him from the time he was like 15 and he was 40. So Brock Macron, wherever the fuck, like what name you want to give Bridget? Probably like, I don't know, fucking Barry. So Barry Macron was fucking molesting that young guy when he was 15.
It was
freaking
allegedly.
Yeah,
allegedly.
I don't honestly care.
Allegedly.
I honestly.
But I mean, but okay. Let's just say that it was like she was like. Let's say it was a female. Let's say that Bridget is a female.
Into a red pill. We're turning this into a red pill.
But like, what if Bridget was a female? That's a 45-year-old female and a 15-year-old kid. Like for their entire lives. It's fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah,
we can talk about this on the red pill.
We'll bring it next week.
So no,
we'll get the conspiracies going next week.
No, we can definitely talk about it on the red pill. But
I only speak the truth.
This is crypto and chill. We're chilling right now. Last night was the hate and discontent. That's where I vent my hate is on Thursdays.
Oh,
but that's where I get out all my violent tendencies. So no, but we should when David, Jeff, Jay, and possibly one or two other people come up. Ellie's even mentioned that she might come up, but she's also like anytime a girl says I'll try or I'll see what I can do, I just take that as like a polite no. I'm just like, okay, cool. Whatever. It's like if you make it cool, if not cool. But it'd be fun to have her here. But yeah, it's like Jay is for sure in. Jeff, how are you looking, Jay or Jeff?
I'm coming up.
Okay, yeah. So you're coming up. All right, so we got Jeff, we got Jay. David, are you coming up?
Hell yeah, dude!
All right,
yeah.
All right, so we got those three, and we might have one or two more. I'll get the Airstream set up. I got a couple of tents if people want to camp out, and if people want to crash out on the couch, that's cool too. And I got a big old freaking, like a bunch of different mattresses and stuff like that, like air mattresses that we can set up, so we can just freaking make it a freaking party for however long people want. But yeah, we'll just let me know what you guys are like down with doing. If you guys want to go kayaking, I got 2, and I can get hold of like 4 or 5 more kayaks, and I got plenty of fishing poles if people want to go fishing. I got plenty of guns.
This is such a weird place, bro. I'm telling you, this is so fucking weird. Every place that I've ever been to where there are houses like this shit, like I've never experienced it where like random riffraff at the fucking any time of day or night can just drive through.
Well, dude,
like that's weird. That's weird as fuck, dude.
Southern California, when I was in Oceanside, like when I was stationed at Camp Pendleton in Oceanside, that's how it was. Is you had like super nice houses, and you just had freaking drunken ass Marines and freaking girls and whoever, just up and down the Strand, the freaking beachfront road. And
bro, that is true though, Mike. Like, dude, where I'm walking right now, this little walkway here.
Yeah.
You could walk this walkway around the bayou, like every hour of the day and night. Like right now after dark, not so much, but like during the day, man, there's beautiful people out here all day long, bro, and they're mostly white, which is like amazing, and I love it. And like honestly, dude, like it's weird that there's people from God knows where driving through this little street right here, like all day long. It's weird. It's weird, man, and it makes me feel uncomfortable, to be honest with you.
Dude, like I said, I mean, that's why I live in the woods. Is I don't worry about anything. Like the only thing I got to worry about is animals, and I know how to live with the animals. With the wild animals.
I don't want to live with the animals, Mike. I don't want to live with them.
It's really honestly, animals make more sense to me than people.
Bro. But these people are like half smart animals. It's not good, bro.
It's animals. Animals have rules. Animals have structure. Animals have a system. And if you
By the
understand
way,
it,
I'm drinking water. This is water, not alcohol.
I was wondering if there's a bottle of vodka.
No,
I was like, is he walking around with a bottle of a handle of vodka?
I am not.
It's like
I am not.
it's like he's walking around with a handle of vodka, just
Uh-uh.
the house.
Walking around with water.
People. Crazy people going down this road.
No.
He got that good sparkling water.
Mm-hmm. That Napa shit. You know what I mean?
Right? No, and David, while you guys are up here, dude, I'll fucking drink some wine with you, dude. I fucking love wine and whiskey, the 2 W's. I love wine and whiskey,
dude. Yeah, no, I mean, I like Napa and that whole region, white and red wine, whatever, and like the New Zealand stuff is pretty good too.
Well, that Apothic wine that you had was really good.
Well, we can drop by, whenever we come from the airport, we can drop by the dispensary and you can get any fucking herbal remedies that you need as well.
Did you just say herbal remedies?
Yes. I mean, I'll probably have some here around the house, but if it's always fun to go and get your own flavors and your own, if you like sativas or indicas or hybrids or whatever.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. So I just think that what we should do during the day is I just want to go out and shoot guns and shit. That's basically what I want to do.
I got a very large selection. If you want pistols, if you want shotguns, if you want long range rifles, if you want freaking ARs, I got something for everybody. And I if you want, I could even show you guys some shooting techniques and just different movement and things like that.
Mike, I want you to teach me how to shoot each one of those weapons.
Done.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Really, it's learning how to shoot isn't that hard. It's most of when you start.
Look, the cat. You see the cat? You see the cat?
I don't.
Oh, meows.
Fucking A. Did you see that shit or did it not work?
I didn't. We weren't able to see it, but
that sucks.
Most of shooting is the 2 things is distance. Shooting at a distance is a skill set, and shooting under stress is a skill set, because shooting isn't that hard at close range. I mean, you can point a gun, and as long as you have a cool head and a steady hand, you're gonna hit your target somewhere at close range. You expect firing multiple rounds, you're gonna hit some. It's all about speed, accuracy, and that's where what it comes down to. So being able to control your emotions.
What about being comfortable handling the weapon itself, like the weapons platform? That's the thing for me is I want to know as much as possible about the weapon.
Well, and of course, just that muscle memory. Just knowing how to manipulate the weapon to do different things.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
If you're in low, it's usually the muzzle is pointed down, but you have it kind of by your shoulder, so you can pop it up real quick. So if you're patrolling and you're looking around and you want to keep your head moving, then you're down like this. And then if you're going through a building or something, in close quarters, maybe you have it up to your face because it's just a quick movement. You can pop.
But it depends on the weapon, right?
Well, it depends on the weapon as well. Freaking a pistol, you're going to hold it like this. If you're going through someplace, and then if you see something, you press out and you shoot. So, it's, everything comes from here. And so, or if you're just walking around, and there's no threat, it's in a holster, but you need to be able to respond and have that muscle memory to know exactly where on your hip that pistol is so that you can get to it and draw it, get it out to here, start shooting from here before you're even sighting it in. You're just pointing it in the general direction because, you want to get, lead on target before the other person does, because that's going to affect their efficiency and effectiveness. And then while you're shooting, you're pressing out, getting more and more accurate as you're pushing out. And I actually have one of my buddies, his name is Mike, that has a shooting system that he has been teaching to 3-letter government agencies. His brother is the group commander of my old SF unit, or was last time I looked. But he's going to come on Sovereign Soil for an interview and share a bunch of shooting techniques and stuff like that. So more to come on that.
Dude, that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome.
But back to your point, dude, I got a range. We can do long distance. We can do movement, and we can just do basic, techniques, unloading, loading, show clear, all the basics that we can do as well, just to get everybody familiar with the different platforms, the way a pistol operates, the way an AR operates, the way a shotgun operates, all that stuff. The way a shotgun operates.
Yeah. So, 2 hands.
So Mike, I want to know, like, if you were just starting out, let's say that you got no experience operating firearms, you have no experience with these platforms, but you want to build a skill set. Where do you start for someone like that? Like what's the go-to? Like what's the first step? Is it a pistol? Is it a shotgun? Is it an AR? Is it a fucking, what is it?
I would say probably your first step would be a pistol, because it's something that if you're going out and getting a weapon for the first time as an adult, chances are that you're doing it for protection. You're not just going to jump into hunting later in life or something like that. That's something that you're born, you were raised in it. You've been a hunter your whole life. That's when you're going to get like a bolt action rifle or something like that. An AR, that's something for somebody that's well into firearms. Usually, they have something else in mind. They're worried about home protection, things like that. For day-to-day carry, like an EDC, that me and Drew are going to be talking about this Saturday. EDC stands for everyday carry.
Dude, that's tomorrow. You're going to be doing that with Drew tomorrow, man.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, it is Friday. That is, pistol. So I would start with a pistol, and the first step to that would be to go to a shooting range, or a gun store that usually has a shooting range, and go and you can rent pistols, and you can get a Glock, you can get a 9mm, you can get a 45, you can get a 40, you can get whatever caliber you want, of any platform you want, of any brand you want, and you can lay them out, and you can fire each of them and see how they feel to you, because everybody's hands are built different. Some people have bigger hands, some people have smaller hands, some people just the way that your hands, like the width of them, and just how big your palm is relative to your finger length. All of these things, dictate how your hands hold the weapon. Like a pistol, you're doing a palm press. You're trying to build a stable foundation for that firearm. So, it has to do with, your body. So something that I'm highly proficient with and I'm highly accurate with, if I put it in somebody's hands that is, not, they're just built differently, it might not shoot the same. A double stack magazine is going to have a fatter mag-well or magazine well. And with a fatter magazine well, it's going to meet
big ass hands to be able to hold that.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So that's why, like revolvers, a lot of smaller women, they like the old 6-shooter revolvers because the magazine isn't in the grip. So it can be a smaller hand grip, and they can hold it better, and they can be more accurate with it. That's why a lot of women like smaller revolvers, is for that reason. But you can get a 1911. That's a single stack. And I actually prefer that single stack. You have less rounds, but I can be more accurate with it rather than a double stack, just because of my hands.
So honestly, Mike, let me ask you, how many does a trained individual really need? Do you need 19 rounds?
No.
Or, like, how many do you need?
If you're proficient with a firearm, it's a fraction of a second to be able to do a magazine change. If you're familiar with the firearm, when you're firing, when you go to do a mag change, if you're getting towards the end of a magazine, it could because you're trained, then you can already be moving that hand down to get the next mag from your pouch. And then as soon as you get that, you can turn the weapon, you drop the magazine. It should just drop straight out. You drop another one in, and you're sending it forward at the same time, and you're back to shooting. So it's just like this boom, 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 boom. It's almost seamless. There's just a fraction of a second. And then, of course, while you're doing that, you're not going to be in the open. If there's cover, while you're shooting, if you're getting towards the end of a mag, you're going to duck behind that cover. You're going to drop a mag, reload, and then come around, showing as little of your body as possible, with a door jam or a wall or something like that. You're going to make sure that, just like an eye to aim, and the pistol is coming around the corner first, and you're shooting with that. And then as you realize that, okay, I'm owning this corner, then you can expose more of yourself while you advance.
So Mike, tell me what you would make of this. You see this house behind me?
Yeah.
You see this place behind me? Right? Okay. So you got this place, right? It looks nice, right? Doesn't this place look nice? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me just walk literally 10 feet into this alleyway right here. And then, I don't know if you'll be able to see this. I'm going to walk down this alley, okay?
All of a sudden, David gets mugged.
Bro, I'm going to walk down this alley right now, okay? I'm going to walk down this shit backwards. Yeah. And fucking, maybe you can see me. But you see down this alleyway? Let me walk like, I think it's like maybe 50 feet. Maybe 70 feet, maybe. And then you're going to see where I'm at, okay? I just went from like multi-million-dollar house, right?
Yeah.
To fucking... What exactly would you call this right here, bro? What would you call this?
Dude, that's the way it is in
Southern that's California. Like typical surf town.
No, but
no, bro. No. Because if we keep going straight, we're at 4th Avenue, which is like the main street. Fucking, so like you got crackheads down there. Like not too many of them, but like they exist.
Ghetto.
Dude.
It's not. It's a beautiful area, but it's like it's a big city. So like,
dude, I'll tell you, it's
what the fuck? Because dude, this is literally like down this alley
if
to the water.
If I end up making
$5-6 million,
but dude, that's why. Fuck? If I make a bunch of money in crypto, I will not be buying some big house on the beach like that. That's why. I would change very little about my lifestyle. About the only big ticket items that I've thought about is a small, like $100,000 place in another country, or a catamaran. I've thought about a catamaran, and then I would improve my current property. It's like, other than that, I wouldn't change much about my lifestyle. I would just, basically just, further improve what I already have going on.
Mike, I got to tell you, bro, I've lived in country clubs, 2 of them. I want that. I want to live in a country club again, man, where you have community and like, everyone. And
you can have community and know everyone. Like where I'm at, that's the way it is.
Yeah, but when everyone's white and wealthy in a country club, bro, like it's a lot of fun. Because you don't give a fuck about anything.
But you know what happens with stuff like that? I mean, and I'm all for stuff like that if it's like an Airbnb, where it's something where I'm there for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever, and then I'm off, to where the new place. Or
Mike, you like golfing? You like golfing?
I've never really been into golf, but I'm not opposed to it. But I just dude, my whole adult life, I was pretty much in training or deployed or just, trying to, invest in real estate. I was busy trying to be better at everything, at the things I was doing. I didn't do a whole lot of recreation stuff.
Mike, you should have done? You should have moved to Minnesota and become Somalian, bro. Because then you would have had all the hospice money in the world, bro.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God.
Plenty of dry powder.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, dude. But just thinking about this place is so cool, and also it's unique, but it's really weird. Like, because if you buy out here, you're taking on so much risk. Because if there's ever a hurricane where the water rises 15 feet, just 15 feet, bro, dude, you're fucked. You're fucked.
My parents and my brother and sister, they lived full time down in Miami for like decades. My dad was actually in charge of the signals, like all the signals for the metro down in Miami. You know, the train system.
Cool.
He was in charge of, like, you know, the big control room that, you know, does all the switches of the tracks and all the lights that tell them to stop and go. And
I've seen those.
Yeah. So basically, he was in charge of all that. And then in LA, same thing. That's where he ended up retiring. Was they moved him out there when they were building, you know, back in the 90s when they were building the subways in LA. But dude, they got hit by a couple of hurricanes, and they got lucky. But a lot of people in the neighborhood, they lost their house, and you know, it's like part of life down there.
And dude, if you don't have you need cash. Literally cash on hand to be able to build back, because if you haven't built up 2 stories you can't get coverage if you haven't built up 2 stories. And most of these houses around here are not built up 2 stories. And so, like, there are houses that are really expensive that are literally, the house starts in the 2nd floor, but that's very few of them. And so imagine you spent $6 million for one of those really nice houses here, and then a hurricane comes and all your neighbors are gone. All your fucking neighbors are gone for months, if not years. Like, what does that do to the value of your property? And like, if you rent around here, dude, renting is so much cheaper than owning. It's crazy.
Dude, I'll tell you exactly what we need to do. Is
like, look, a fucking Aston Martin, an old one.
Geez.
No, but dude, I'm telling you, exactly what we need to do is, I got the property up here. Freaking everybody just needs to put a little tiny house or an RV or something like that, like freaking Lethal Weapon. You know, you can have a little place here. And then for most of the year, I just say we do Airbnbs. We just go to different countries, do like a month here, a month there, just do different Airbnbs. And then a couple months out of the year, you know, we freaking hang out here, have a little studio, have a workout place, and just fucking live fucking awesome lives, dude.
Hell yeah, dude. I've been doing that. What are you talking about, Mike? Let's all do it together.
But you've been doing it by yourself with like no shooting, no cliff diving, no skydiving.
No nothing.
Yeah.
Like, my goal, you guys, doing this myself has been to be able to go anywhere, anytime, for any reason with a backpack.
Yeah.
And that's it.
No.
With a backpack.
But like, to have a base camp, you know, to have to where you can have like a place, you know, that you can have your, you know, if you have family heirlooms or you have like any cool shit that you want to make sure is safe, you know, you have like a tiny house, you know, where you have like, you know, a bedroom, a kitchenette, a living room, and, you know, laundry, and, you know, you have your own space that you can have your shit in, and just know you can go anywhere in the world anytime you want, and you know it's taken care of.
Okay, so where's the first place? Where's the first place? If you think right now, like, hey, man, I just got to pick up and go somewhere. I don't know where the fuck it is. Where is that place, Mike?
Hypothetically, if me, you, Jay, and Jeff had, you know, the property set up here, and we were like, all right, where's the first place? For my vote, Japan.
Japan. Fuck yeah, dude. I love the Japanese, dude. I fucking love it.
Based as fuck. I love the culture. I love the history. The women are beautiful. The food is awesome. Yep. I would love to go to Japan and spend like a month or 2 there.
Okay, but where?
I would say that spend like a week or 2 in different places. You know, just go around the island to different places and explore it, because eventually, if we end up making a bunch of, you know, any amount of money,
see which one's the most ideal.
Let's buy a place and Airbnb it as an investment for the company.
So I got to say though, man, like going around to different places all the time like that, it does take me like a solid 3 or 4 days to get to know a new place, even a little bit, you know?
Absolutely. No, but But that's the thing is if you're spending like 2 weeks in each place, and you say that you spend like a month and a half, then you pick 3 places in the country, one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast, maybe one in the North, maybe one in the South, something. You just pick a mix, and then for the other month and a half, then you like if we went to Japan, spend a month and a half in the Philippines, or Thailand or something like that.
Thailand, bro. So Mike, I've got this Australian hedge fund client who just moved to Thailand, and he's telling me all about Thailand, bro. It sounds fucking great.
I've been there. I've been there multiple times. It's an amazing freaking place. My neighbor here at the cabin, my next door neighbor, she's from Thailand, like thick ass accent. Like her husband brought her over, and they own the Thai restaurant in town. One of the best restaurants in town. If you want to have Thai food while you're here, I'll take you to a fucking Thai food place. It's like straight from Thailand.
Bro, that sounds great.
No, like gang dang. She makes gang dang, pad thai, freaking, like a yellow curry, green curry. Like,
dude, those are all the things that I would order from any Thai restaurant right there.
Yep.
Yep.
So no, dude, she makes. When I was building my cabin, she would invite me over for dinner every night because I was living in a tent, and so like probably 2 or 3 nights a week, I would go over and eat over there. She would make me this is before she had her restaurant open. She would make me the freaking most amazing food, dude. And
so Mike, check this out, dude. Jeff, you guys are gonna love this, dude. So you saw those houses I was at, right? That's on the water. Okay. Now you can see the water from where I am. It is, if I put my finger up, the water is right there. See that? That's the water, bro. And so look at the house that I rented on Airbnb from this really nice old lady who, unfortunately, her fucking house is infested with mosquitoes. Got bit the fuck up. But other than that, it's been great because check this place out, dude. Can you guess how much this place cost me to be right in the fucking thick of it? This place, I don't know if you can see it really.
$5 million. No, I would say, like, are you saying like per night or for the month?
Per night.
Per night, I would
say
$250.
No, it was 90. It was 90. You got it, Jeff.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So 90, bro.
And like, I would win. The Price is Right.
Dude, look, I've got a red door. You see that? I got a red door.
Oh, you got the Nightmare on Elm Street.
Fucking good, bro. The lock works. All you gotta do to make the lock work is you gotta pray a little bit beforehand, and then you gotta try your shit. And as long as you prayed first, man, it'll be okay. But that's what I'm about to do.
Dude, like I don't believe in like ghosts and stuff like that. But I'll be honest. I lived in a house. It was a yellow house with a red door as a kid.
I gotta sign off for a second.
When I was in junior high, and I'll be honest, there was some weird shit that went down in that house. It definitely makes me question, if there's ghosts or not.
Yeah, there's some places, man. It's just like something doesn't feel right, or at least the energy. Like people who die in certain places, and that place has like a weird energy to it. Like,
it was just like noises and like like feel kind of vibes and feelings and I'm not one that's prone to like the supernatural. It's just not me. I have a lot of friends that are into like the orbs, and they go to cemeteries and they try to videotape and catch the orbs and all that kind of stuff, are the ghost hunters. They have all the little devices they're supposed to measure the ghosts. And I have friends that are like, hey, you know what? I'm not talking shit on them. I don't know. But I've never had an experience that made me like really believe that there's shit like that there's demons and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we don't know, man. I mean, there's a lot of stuff around out there.
I've experienced all of those things, Mike. I've experienced all of those things.
I know.
Yeah, some of your stories are crazy.
You were like sharing your demon experiences on the red pill.
No, here, dude, you know what I found out here at one of these fucking random like grocery stores? This wine, this is like I lived on this vineyard. I lived
Did
on
you
this
really?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Rombauer. This shit is the shit, bro.
Is it?
Fucking great. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll have to check it out. I'll have to check it out. No, dude, I'll drink wine with you. I'm not above a fucking good glass of wine. That's what I'm drinking right now.
Some winos. I do have to jump off because I got to feed these guys.
Yeah. I might as well. I might as well jump off.
Me.
I need to eat. It's like 7:00. I need to eat.
David's like, I'll eat at midnight.
All right. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Oh, there's David again. I appreciate all.
You know what I'm doing? I've been fasting. I've been on the wine fast. It's the way.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
It's the way and the truth.
Yeah. No, once a month, I do a 24 to 72 hour fast.
Yep.
All right.
That's key.
All right. Well, we're gonna call it. I'm gonna go get some food, and I'm gonna watch a show and freaking cuddle with my cat. I'm an old cat guy, so
yeah.
Yep. So no, I appreciate y'all. We got 62 people watching on YouTube, and we got one person watching on the Arena. So Arena's dead for once, but you know what?
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate y'all because you're the reason why we show up and do this show, because it's costing us money, not making us money. So it shows you how much we love you all. Until next time, join us tomorrow for Saturday night.
What time's your show with Drew?
Oh yeah. So I think it's at noon. I'll have to get with you, but Sovereign Soil with me and Drew.
Or noon our time.
We're doing it at night. We're doing it not at 6 p.m. our time, 9 p.m. his time, Eastern. So join us for the DJ set first, and then Sovereign Soil.
So wait, what? 6 p.m. our time?
Yeah.
How long are you going? Because I can schedule it after. Because it's gonna be like
it's gonna be like 30 minutes, like hour tops.
Okay.
Because Drew is basically after he puts his kids to bed, before he goes to bed, he's gonna pop it out because it's something he's very passionate about. He's very passionate about homesteading and emergency preparedness and stuff like that. So
sick.
But
looking forward to it.
Join us tomorrow for some shows. How about that?
Yeah.
Until next time, motherfucking Veteran Crypto out.
Peace.